Well, I am honored to be the co-host of the Be Kind show tonight. That is usually hosted by Chad Naxon, but tonight I thought I would take the opportunity to have my first guest on, the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Chad Naxon. And we were going to talk about what Chad's all about, what Chad does, and what Be Kind is all about. And I'm going to grill him and put him through the ringer. A lot of you have not heard from me in a couple of days because I am banned from Facebook. Imagine that. Not from my videos, not from my posts, not from, anything that's of my doing. My partner and my coworker, Loretta, every time she posts something and I happen to comment on it, and God forbid I say one curse word on there, Facebook bans me. So I am gone for 7 days. So I know you are all sad and you're going to miss me, but we're going to have a good time tonight. We're going to talk to my boy Chad. This is his show. And like I said, he asked me to be a co-host. So this is my first time doing anything of the sorts. And I'm excited. I can't wait to get going. And I'm going to break Chad's balls a little bit tonight. And we're going to find out exactly what he's all about. So without further ado, I know Chad is chomping at the bit to be on his own show right now. If we can get Chad on here right now, and we can. Whoa!
By the way,
how was that intro? Was it any good? Did I skip a beat? Was I nervous? Did I make you feel uncomfortable?
No, I loved it. I loved it. In fact, I love Emilio DeChico host tonight. Wow, love it. Thank you,
Emilio. And people need to know, right? We're just flying off the, we're going right off the, unscripted. We just boom, we went live, and here we are. And that's the best way. That's how I thrive, and that's how I get going. I get revved up. So to make this interesting, because that's what we want to do, right? We want to captivate some audiences, get some people to understand what this show's all about, what you're all about, and why you invest your time to put together this production. With our great man behind the scenes, Jason. We know a lot of things get done with Jason. He really hooked me up this week. He's running my Emilio, the Philly Italian Realtor page through Facebook because of my ban. Like I said, look, it's a little embarrassing, but listen, Loretta is my partner. She is my my coworker, my colleague, and we have that camaraderie we talk about where we break each other's balls and stuff. But God forbid I curse. I'm violating community standards. It is what it is. We'll get through it. So, Chad, let me get right to it, right? I just have to ask you, what made you take the time out to get this show up and running at whatever costs? Because I say we now because I'm a co-host, but this is all out of pocket. This is a production that you put your heart and soul into, and you put your money behind. And you have not asked for any sponsorship to pay for the show. If there's any sponsorship that we will elaborate on later on in time for the show, it'll be pretty much for 100% toward the charities that our guests support or that we support. Correct? So
absolutely.
Tell us what it's all about. Tell us why you decided that this is your calling and this is what you're going to do, and run.
Love it. Amelia, first of all, thank you for just stepping right in. Love the Just Do It hat. Love the energy. Facebook banning you has me very upset. It was not a kind cause. I don't like it. They don't understand you're Italian, and cursing in Italian's like everyday language with the Boom team. But they just don't understand. The algorithm has not figured that out. Right, Amelia?
I mean, realistically, right? It's it's not my business page, the Philly Italian Realtor page is completely clean. I have no violations. I never violated community standards. And that's where, I do a lot of my comedic skits, and I rant, and I rave, and I use the curse words in a tasteful fashion. But I do have a message, and I try to get my message across, and it's networking. And I was on the show last week, and we basically talked about what I'm trying to do, and bringing, putting Philly on the map, and bringing people together, and spotlighting different people in the community, and friends of mine that have, we've come a long way. And I think that it's detrimental to my followers and detrimental to the message by Facebook, having a computer pick up on like a comment that they thought, was against the community standards.
You know what? For our guests, comment below and put "I stand with Emilio," please. We want to see some "I stand with Emilio." All right, because the support would be awesome. Yo, Emilio. First of all, before I answer your question, I want you to know something. I wore a special shirt for the show tonight. It was because I know you said growing up last week, you lived on meatballs and cheesesteaks, right?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I heard you. So what I decided to wear tonight is something a little different. I was raised on tasty cakes and cheesesteaks.
I'm not gonna lie, I love tasty cakes too.
I'm
surprised. I really, honestly, I should be,
you like that?
I should be about 75 pounds overweight from my current weight right now from the things that I eat. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm a foodie, and I think that's actually what brought us together was our love for food, and we couldn't wait to get to a restaurant and go meet each other, but we didn't really care about what each other had to say. We wanted to eat first, then figure it out. And then it worked. Boom, here we are.
I'm going to answer your question, by the way, Emilio, because you did ask me a great question. And your question was basically what got me behind Teresa. Look at that. I stand with Emilio. Teresa has your back. Love the shirt, chat. All right, Teresa, you're awesome. You are awesome. All right. So the kind cause, I'm going to keep it real, and I'm going to come out and say, for some people know my story, some don't, and that's okay. We're very authentic here. I'm a colon cancer survivor, and my outlook, I was always kind, okay, in my life, but I didn't really understand the true definition of kindness. And what I mean by that is, people don't realize this, but one of the biggest things about being kind is actually being kind to yourself. And I'll say something, I looking back on life, I wasn't always so kind to myself. And, after I went through this battle with cancer, and I looked at death in the eyes, I basically had all this hair. It was gone. I mean, I was bald, and I had a very serious situation with the recovery. And, it made me realize that what I thought was important wasn't really that important. And it gave me perspective. And then what I started realizing, and I was able to look at other people and the way they were looking at certain situations, Emilio. And it was interesting because my perception was so different than their perception. And I feel as though as everyone goes through different battles and journeys, they don't always understand or appreciate things as much as they should always appreciate it. And when you basically look death in the eyes, it gives you a much bigger appreciation. So over the last year, and I keep it real. I haven't always been kind. I'm a kind heart, but now it's really on my mind. And I'm addicted to kindness because, yeah.
Not to stop you, but one of the things that I've always said about myself even, and it was like, if anything, any adversity that I've ever had in my life, and any I was always the detriment to myself, right? So it's like you said that being kind to yourself was one of the, the stepping stones moving forward. And that's kind of where I was, is that I realized that I need to start treating myself better and being kind to myself in order to pass it on and spread, this kindness and this message along to other people. Right. Because if you're going to be self-destructive and you're going to be down on yourself all the time and you're not going to be able, how are you going to get your message across to somebody else? How are they going to believe in you, right? You have to be positive. So that's one of the things. And I do believe, touching on what you said, that a lot of people sometimes, and I don't want to use the term rock bottom, because the term rock bottom, it's sketchy because it could mean a lot of different things. But a lot of times when people have this revitalization in their life and they see the light, basically, is based on like when they have certain things happen to them in life, right? Whether it's an issue, a medical issue, whether it is an issue where they had to come start over again. A marriage might have fell apart. You know what I'm getting at. Different things like that. They've come out, and when they come back out, they come out better, bigger and better than before. And it's not about success or money or anything. It's about their attitude, right? And sometimes when you run into these people and you haven't seen them in a while, you're like, holy shit, like, wow, this guy's aces. Like, what happened? And you're scratching your head and you can't get enough of almost wanting to, hear that person's story over and over and over again.
Dude, let me just say something to you. So, and where this led is in the last year specifically, I have made it a point to, number one, get away from unkind situations, or if being more cognizant of what is going on around me. Because you start getting a couple unkind people start talking, you know where that's going to lead to. That's going to be a what?
How many times did you call me this week and ask me how I'm doing?
I called you every day, right?
And why? Because what was the feeling in your gut that was going on? Did you feel like an explosion was coming soon and you had to keep me at bay?
I felt, yes, I think, and that's what, you know what? It's a true statement. I checked in with you because I wanted to see how you're doing, because you're a good friend of mine.
But you picked up on earlier in the week, you could see in the last few days, even touching on last week, that I was building up some frustrations. Shit wasn't really going the way I was expecting it to go. And the Italian in me was starting to, you could see smoke starting to billow out of my ears a little bit. And you figured, and it worked. It worked. It's like, there's no, I don't even want to complain to you when you call. It's not like I want to even, bitch and moan. It's like he called, and next thing you know, we're talking about this and the show and, what we should get together. Let's go out to eat with the wives. And it's like, whew, that positive, be kind. It's like contagious, and that's why I think people should, I'm going to say it every time I'm on this show. I don't care if I'm the co-host, the guest. I stop in to say hello. These shows, especially in our tight community, right? Like I said, if you're from Philly and you're in Bucks County or Montgomery County, Huntington Valley, it doesn't matter. We all have the same ties, right? You got to pay attention to shows like these, because these are the places to watch and to find out what's going on, man.
Kind is the new cool. That's right, Bruno. Kind is the new cool. I love that.
We need it.
We do, man. And that's the thing. We're going to elaborate on something a little later.
Who just made that? I just missed it. Who just made that comment? Kind is the new cool.
Bruno.
There you go.
History.
Bruno. Hello. I told you when you talked about Bruno, I've known Bruno my whole life. And look where we are today. Look at the pinnacle of today at our age.
Can I say something to you?
These are guys I've known. We watch each other grow up.
I met Bruno and his wife personally. We got together for some drinks, and let me say something to you. Kindness. It's a wave. They're in the club. Dude, and they will be a guest, by the way.
Listen, even Bruno, we all have a story. Bruno has I don't want to put Bruno on the spot because he's a tremendous, him and his wife, power couple. And look at like that.
We're affectionately known as a king and queen.
And he's found his soulmate, right? And it came later in life, right? And you can see like the pictures, the glowing pictures, and the positive attitude, whether they're in Florida, they're back home in Pennsylvania and Philly, and they got connections, man, all over the place. And right now, he's living life and he's happy and they're healthy and God bless him. I mean, this is what I'm saying. It's what it's all about. I could run down the list, but the Bruno's the perfect example.
Absolutely. 100% kind, and if I didn't say it again, kind.
Bruno, listen, back in the day, we were in the car business. Bruno was like the first guy. There he is. Bruno was like the first guy in the neighborhood to have a CLK 430. He had a white one with the blue tint from factory. Bruno was like the man. He used to come to the car lot. He used to check it out. He used to beg him to borrow it.
I want to chase something. Bring up that screen. Bring that shot up for a second. Just for a second. If you could bring that back up for a second, Jason, that would be awesome. If you can pull that one off, pull that back up if you could. There we go. It's always good. You're praying he's in the room. All right, here we go. Now, the old me, I want to make this clear. The old me, Emilio, would rant and I wouldn't share the stage with a person with that kind of hair. I'd be upset. But you know what, Bruno?
Listen,
you have a hell of a head of hair, and I'm going to say kindly, keep it going and give me the recommendation for.
He's going to have to do my beard.
Gee, it's amazing. I mean, I just wanted to share. Bruno, kindly say, God, you have a head of hair. Amazing. So,
Bruno, I bought them all from you. So, okay. So there you go. Right. So we found a perfect example. Somebody that's tuning in, paying attention, right? It's all about the network. It's all about who you know and what you know. And it's about spreading it so more people jump on the bandwagon. And that's why I asked you, why you because, there's a cost and there's time and effort to go behind these productions. And that's why it's important that people pay attention and see that there's, time and effort behind it. And that's one of the things that I wanted to touch on with you, because look, man, I do these videos and, I use my phone and I'll use TikTok or whatever, but these are free platforms, but this is on another level right here.
Well, I want to say something to you real quick. All right, Jason, do me a favor. All right. That video that I told you about, can you get that ready to go? Because, you asked me this question on why do I do this, right? And I will answer, but I want to show you what happened here locally in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. I'm in Bensalem. I'm at this place right around the corner. This happened, I think, literally a day ago. All right. I saw this on Facebook. I mean, watch this.
To investigate
right around the corner.
An all-out brawl in Bensalem, Bucks County. They call themselves America's #1 buffet, the Golden Corral. But Friday night, it seemed like America's #1 free-for-all. More than 36 people were throwing fists and even throwing some chairs. Action News reporter Walter Perez is live outside the Golden Corral on the 1400 block of Street Road in Bensalem. Walter, what is the latest on all of this?
Well, Jim, we just did a Zoom interview with someone involved in that fight. Now, there's always two sides to a story, sometimes three, but Alexis Rios did give us really good insight into exactly what happened. Action News spoke with one of the people at the center of this melee that erupted inside the Golden Corral in Bensalem this past Friday afternoon. Alexis Rios says it started over a misunderstanding regarding a piece of steak. Rios says the person in front of him became angry with the cook because Rios received his steak first.
He's trying to understand what you want. He's trying to give you what you want. I had a rare steak, which is a lot faster to cook than a well-done steak. That's why I got my steak first.
And Rios thinks part of the reason things escalated so quickly is because everyone was wearing masks. And he believes...
Yeah. So,
so this is what happens when the Naxon family goes out to dinner. Is this what happens here? This is what goes down over here?
By the way, do my last name real quick. You just nailed it. Do it. My last name.
Naxon.
Dude, you nailed that. Continue. That's gold, man. Beautiful. So anyway, Amelia, that video, right? I'm sorry, but that video, that's literally a mile from me, okay? Literally a mile from me. Now
that shit only happens in Philly. And like I said, I don't care if it's Bensalem. Literally, if you go down the street from there, make a right on the Street Road exit going south on 95, you're on Woodhaven Road. You're in Philly.
But hear me out.
That's Philly right there.
Hear me out, okay? When I saw that, it was Friday night, by the way. Rough weekend, apparently. But let me say something to you. When you see that, WTF? What is going on in this world? Like, it's literally over a steak. And, it's just... So when you say, why do I do this? It's because if I can affect some change and get people to not do that, thank God we're winning. And it's worth it. That's worth more than money can pay all day long. I don't need to make money. I just want to spread that love.
Here's the problem. and that's why, my message is the same thing basically. Before, I was asked to be a co-host on the Be Kind show. My message was to get everybody to network, to put Philly on a map, to blow the brand up, right? But I think people are so stressed out anymore. They're getting pulled in so many different directions, and things. It's not easy nowadays. So one little spark could, that's what causes the explosion. So there's really no reason for it. We as people are better than that, and you never know, because one little mistake could cause you could do something stupid and wind up in jail, or incarcerated, or doing something crazy because your temper got out of control over a rare steak, and you could have threw a chair not knowing and hit an old lady, and she could have died. And then what?
You know what, Emilio? And that was the other thing. You know what the miracle of all that is? That no one got injured. I mean, there was like a black eye and like a scar, but like someone could have been killed easily.
I mean, if you're not paying attention and somebody wings a chair from 25 feet away and hits you in the side of the temple, and it's just a freak accident, that person's gonna, he's gonna have to pay and atone for what he did. And that anybody could do that. You don't have to be, a certain type of person to do that kind of stuff. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you, right? You put tomatoes on my hoagie, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just joking. I just don't like tomatoes on my hoagie. But this is how this shit happens, I mean, there's people watching this that have probably seen me throw up, a sandwich across the room, or, when I was younger, but I'm different now.
So if I want to really get under your skin, get extra tomatoes on your hoagie, it's going down.
I eat everything. As you know, I'm a foodie. I skeeve it. I can't even look at it. The raw tomato seed, the jelly, disgusting. Now, I love tomatoes, right? I'm Italian, but when I make a tomato salad, I'll get a tomato, and the plum tomatoes are the easiest ones to do this with. The little like plum looking ones, not the big round suckers. There's too many seeds in them. I'll take a small spoon and scoop all the seeds out, cut them up, make the salad with the red onions and the cucumbers and all that, happy horse shit. But I skeeve them. And if they put them on the hoagie, they have to they have to fold the wax paper into it, and it smushes it all over the place. It's impossible to get all the seeds out of it. Kind of ruins it for me. I'll tell you, man.
By the way, Emilio, sorry to cut. My wife just said she agrees with you 100%.
Oh man, listen, and it burns me because when I order something and I say no tomato, I like emphasize it. I'm like, listen, I even tell people I'm allergic to them. I'm like, make sure there's no tomatoes on that shit, because if it does, my throat will close up. I'll go into like a shock, and you'll need EpiPens. And they're like, okay.
It's never good when you bring EpiPens.
Listen to me. How would you like to listen? You're starving sometimes. You got a headache. You're working. You're already past lunchtime, and somebody's like, and you're like, give me an Italian hoagie, or give me a turkey, and just no tomatoes. And then you wait for it, you get it, and you open it up, and it's this big blob of tomato juice and seeds, and you're just like, fuck.
It's a game changer.
Oh, man. Anyway.
Hashtag rant.
Anyway. Hey, you want to make the show interesting. We got to know about my pet peeves and stuff like that, right?
Absolutely.
Notice how I'm sneaking in the curse words and stuff as we go.
I knew I couldn't stop you. That's why I just said I'm not even going to try to. I'm just going to let it go with the way it goes.
Now we're sneaking them in.
Well,
so
Emilio, can I just say thank you, first of all? I don't know. I have to tell you, last week I had, this is no BS, all right? I had 25 calls within the next 24 hours after the show with people calling me and saying, wow, they, first of all, love the show, and then we're really excited about you actually being a co-host on the show. And I got a lot of great feedback, because I just love, and I mean this, I love the energy, and I just love the fact that we're going to figure out a way to spread this message, because that is so, so important to me. So I want to I'm going to thank you sincerely every week, probably, because if we can just keep affecting change and getting this message out there, thank you.
I
accepting my challenge, man.
I myself, not only, you're welcome, and thank you. I even got some new Facebook friend requests before I got banned, and one of them was Duffin.
What a voice!
What's that?
What a voice that guy.
Not a voice, but this is what I'm saying. Like, here's a guy, right? That I watched that whole entire show when you had him on, and you get to learn from somebody, especially that like has that voice and has the the recognition. And next thing you know, like I started going live because over the weekend we were making the the homemade sausage, the sausage, the prosciutto, the super sausage, and we're slaying these pigs all over the place. I know people are probably like, oh my God, but that's what we do. We're Italian. And that's why I posted that video after the fact, because it got such great feedback. It was part 1, part 2, and part 3, because it's a process. And, basically saying, open your mind to other cultures and different traditions and stuff. You can learn so much. And one of the things that'll bring you together with these cultures and different things, because like I said, ignorance is a disease, right? And when you open your heart and your mind, you gain wisdom from these other traditions, and food will do it, man. I mean, I don't care who's cooking, where they're from, if they're inviting me over, I'm eating.
Well, first of all, I want to say something. I watched that video 3 times in full. It made me laugh so much. The one, first of all, who was the gentleman that had the Saab shirt on, like SAAB, like the car?
That's my boy Victor, and he's a good guest to have on this show, believe it or not, because he's the Saab guy. That's
literally,
all.
Saab, the car, right?
If you want a Saab, right? What's up,
John?
John?
And he's saying hi.
Right, like that's like that made me feel great. Like like there's a guy supporting me, commenting on what I do and different things like that.
Look at mom's letting everyone know what's going on here.
Listen, well, I'll tell you a story. I don't want to encompass my whole life again with the show or whatever, with your show, but I'll tell you a story about my mother, me, and our homemade tomato sauce. Because if you thought that, one of the traditions, is just curing meats and different stuff, different things like that. I mean, we there's another tradition that goes on in the summertime, and it's we make homemade tomato sauce. So I just lost my train of thought. Where was I going before my mom popped on the screen?
Oh, you were talking about a great guest, the guy, the Saab. You were talking about
Victor, right?
So Victor. There we go. We're a team.
Listen, he sells Saabs and he collects them from all over the country, brings them to this area, and he has he's built this cult following of selling Saabs. And he's got some of the coolest inventory around if he can get it, because now, it's so hard to find certain things, but he tracks them down. That and old caddies. Victor's an old soul.
Can you put the word in for me if Victor can find me a large Saab shirt? I think wow.
Oh, I'll get you one.
Whew, that was awesome. And I'm going to throw another request out there live on Facebook. Can you maybe get Uncle Mario to accept my friend request?
Yeah, Uncle Mario. I mean, but you don't forget though. Listen, he's on Facebook by default. Okay. He might not pay attention to all the different
No, I know that
prompts and stuff.
I don't want to upset him, so I respectfully.
I don't want you getting hit. Listen, I don't want you getting hit with any shovels. So
if you can politely ask him when he's in a better mood or whatever, he can accept it. That'd be awesome.
So since we're on the the Italian tradition thing right now, right? So this is how this goes down. So our family and all the paisans from our town, and listen, they do it all over Italy, right? Everybody's got their own way of doing things, but this is pretty much as basic as it can get. You go to the farm and you get all these plum tomatoes, right? All these bushels and bushels of plum tomatoes. You have to use plum tomatoes to do this. I mean, I guess you could use any tomato, but that's the tomato that holds up the best and that is meaty, and that's what we do. So we pick all these bushels up of these tomatoes, and we're gonna jar 300 jars of tomato sauce. And we bring the tomatoes home, we wash them all down, get all the pesticides and shit off. Now they're organic. We get whatever, the dirt and everything off them. We let them sit and we let them dry. So then you cook them in big pots, right? You get them soft, and then you pass them through this machine. Now this machine, it shoots the seeds and the skin out one end, and it shoots the fresh tomato sauce out the other end. Okay?
That's commitment.
You put salt in the pot. It's a big pot. Put salt in the pot. You put fresh basil. You take mason jars, fill the mason jars, put the cap and the lids on them. You boil them. They seal. Boom, they're preserved. Now, so when you want to make a tomato-based sauce, you have this just tomato sauce, salt, basil. You can add whatever you want to it. You can make your gravy like you were talking about last week, put your meat in there. You do whatever you want to do. I will not eat canned tomato sauce, and I will not eat anything but this sauce. My mom, however, every once in a while thinks that she could sneak this shit on me because she has either run out of the sauce or because she feels that other people that are coming over are not worthy of the homemade sauce if she's making like a bunch of baked ziti's or some shit. But I can tell because inside the cans of tomato sauce, they're dark seeds because they're petrified from being on the shelf for 3 years. If a tomato seed sneaks into my sauce, it's white. And I see we've had wars, like to the point where like she's like, I can't believe you talk to me like this and you don't respect me. And this is like over tomato sauce and shit. My dad, when he was like are you talking to your mom like it's like a piece of shit? I'm like, but why would you do this? I tell her, listen, don't lie to me.
She says guilty, by the way. She's coming clean.
Don't
right
lie.
now.
I tell her in like the Italian, like the Goodfellas way. I said, listen, don't lie to me. All right. If you're going to use some shit tomato sauce, just tell me so I won't eat it. It's better than lying to me.
You know what? This is what I suggest. Can we
After 45 years, we finally got this stuff ironed out, but it took a long time. A lot of wars.
Mom, I want to thank you for coming clean. That's all about kindness and being clean, coming clean and being, this is great. I think we should all, 3 of us should like go out, do the Tarantella and celebrate this moment. What do you think?
I think we should.
I love it. I love it.
So,
what is a Tarantella? Can you explain the Tarantella to me? And then I want to, just what is a Tarantella exactly, please? Do you know?
I don't know.
All right, neither do I.
You want from me?
I used to be an MC, like a party, and I used to play the Tarantella. The Italian people love the Tarantella.
Listen, it's just some kind of dance that probably doesn't even exist in Italy.
Just like gravy doesn't exist in Italy.
Just like pepperoni. If you go to Italy and ask for pepperoni, you'll get, you know what I mean, peppers. You can't get a pepperoni in Italy. Pepperoni's from here.
Dude,
no
Emilio,
pepperoni.
this show is a lot of fun, right?
So it's fun, right? And I know that once I get going and I get revved up, I just go. Like people don't understand that. You know what I mean? It's just we haven't talked about anything to what we're going to say on this show, what we're going to talk about, but I want to make I want to be a part of making this show a platform for us and for different people to come on and to basically spotlight, what you do, what the Be Kind Show is all about, and what our guests do and what they offer, and basically network this whole thing and blow the brand up. Like that's what this is all about. And I think people little by little they'll catch on. They'll see our 2 different types of personalities and how we gel together and we'll make it interesting and we'll make it pop.
Emilio, do you mind if I just kind of go over a couple things dear to my heart? Because I know typically in this segment we kind of talk about like the charities and things like that. Would it be okay if I just elaborate a little bit on kindness and things of that nature?
Yeah.
All right. This is for all our guests out there. Each week we come out here and our cause is to raise money and for charities. But I would say that is so important. But I would say even more important is the kind movement, okay? And I think you need to understand what the definition of kindness is. And the definition is the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. That's actually the definition of being kind. Now, the other thing, the word generous, when I hear the word generous, it doesn't have to be monetary, okay? Generous.
I tell people that all the time.
And I just want to make that because I think that's like a big, like, generous.
Listen, I don't want people to get it misconstrued about my purpose, right? Like, okay, we know I'm a realtor. Whoa, okay. We figured that out right long time ago. And it's not about like, I'm not doing this show so you give me a listing or let me sell you a house or anything like that. Like I truly have an interest in this, and I've always had an interest in these types of platforms and messages that are being spread, but I never knew how to do it. And that's why people always say, like, what made you start doing these videos? And I figured I never know what's going to come out of my mouth. Nobody ever knows what's going to come out of my mouth. So I'm just going to start recording it. And, I'll that'll be my legacy, I guess, so that's why it's important that people know, like, this isn't about money. This isn't about you being a loan officer, underwriter, we'll get you mortgages, and has nothing to do with that. We're not asking local businesses or restaurants or whatever services people provide and different things. We're not asking them to be sponsors on this because, we want to put money in our pockets and make this production bigger and better. You want to donate and sponsor, it's going to go right to these charities. It's going to go to the neighborhood organizations and different things that they're going to help people.
And
that's the only time monetary issue is going to be a point in this whole thing. I'm not looking to get paid out of this. I don't care who you use as a realtor. To be honest with you, I just want you to listen.
Amelia, let me say something on that. So like for the sponsors, because that's something that you and I have talked about, because it's just all about raising the awareness, getting more money for great causes, and then also recognizing the sponsors for what they do to the community, because I think the sponsors need to be recognized.
Listen, I will literally come on here if it's a restaurant that week, I will literally come on here and eat and get the food all over my face and everything, and I love it. Like I will spotlight there. I will go right to the I tell everybody all the time, I will walk right into your place with my camera on, and you'll be on Facebook in 10 minutes.
So sponsors being totally serious, great cause, great recognition. I want to talk about kindness, and I want to talk about things you can do that are kind, that just don't cost money. I just want to keep it simple. All right. So number one, how about if someone does a great job? How about you just encourage them to succeed and congratulate them on their success? That didn't cost you any money, right, Amelia?
No.
I'm just saying, treating others the way you want to be treated. What did that cost you?
Nothing.
No. Act selflessly, not selfishly. What does that cost you?
Nothing.
This is all so far. We got a total bill of zero at checkout, right?
If you go back to some of the dumbest things, right? Like last week on the show, I said, how many people sneeze and nobody says, God bless you, or Gesundheit if you don't want to be, nothing. So we hold the door, for somebody to let them in and, hey, good morning. Like these little things, because that'll propel your energy to a higher level to go about your day and be more positive in your own life. Like you said, you be kind to yourself. So it's like contagious. It has to be reciprocated too, because sometimes people get knocked down when they're on their high horse and they want to, hey, good morning. All their free kindness goes out, and then somebody has to come in and ruin it and chop their legs out from under them, and then it gets people pissed off. And I'm not going to lie, that happens to me a lot, Like I'll be like, hey, I'm in this positive mood and I'm trying. And then that one person just, they rub me the wrong way. And it's like, I'm on a warpath. You know what I mean? And that's when you come in and call me and you have to calm me down.
No, absolutely. And I have that radar, the sixth sense of like, what's going on, Emilio? What's going on? I just feel it. So yeah, that's why I really wanted to let our guests know that kindness is so important. We watched that brawl at the buffet, right? And it's true. Like I've had many situations in the last 12 months where it could have escalated very quickly because of a simple miscommunication or just, someone saying one thing and not just slowing down to maybe just say, is this worth going here? I'm talking about over a parking spot, Emilio. Guy got worked up. I told you that. I don't know if you heard that story. If a parking spot,
I don't think you should reveal to our audience yet that you are a MMA fighter and a level 4 jiu-jitsu black belt. I think you should let that. We'll bring that out later on in the show. And
you know what? The truth of the matter is, I do for all our guests. I have really pretty nice hair, and I do a badass Kimura. I just want to make that clear. Live. I could just put a Kimura on you. So don't mess with me because I'm very kind. So if I do the Kimura, you've pushed it too hard. All right. Thank you, Emilio.
Let me ask you a question. Why do you think, right?
Yep.
Why do you think that we as in this day and age, why do you think we as a people have such a short fuse? Why do you think that it's like in our DNA now to go 0 to 60 so fast?
That's a great. So
basically, like,
I'm tell you why. I have
what's causing all this? What's all this build up?
I have it.
Yeah,
I have an answer. I don't know if I have the right answer, but I think I have definitely an answer that would make sense. I think to be, over the last 2 years, I think you have people that have been kind of hocked up inside. They're confused. You have so many, and I'm included. I was a little depressed for the first year. You know what I mean? Like the first year, it takes a little while to figure out what the hell you're doing. And I think people have just been like, so like this, the whole, let's call it what it is. The pandemic's kind of like just made the whole society. You realize it's been over 2 years. It's like actually like coming up on 2 years. 2 years. It's a lot of time. So
you feel that this pre-pandemic that people weren't as pent up and as short fused as they are today?
Yes. At the same time, I think people have also had a chance to actually do one of two things. So when you're pent up, two things are going to happen. You're either going to get closer to your family or literally want to absolutely go, not so close to your family. And I think, unfortunately, during the pandemic, you had both of those happening. You've had people getting closer and people getting further away. And I would probably say there's a good chance that you might have people getting further away than closer. I don't know the exact stat on that, but I think that's a big part of it. Would you agree with that?
I do, but if you look at the overall pressure put on society today and in every market, whether it is job security, like John would say, working from home instead of the office, and actually interacting with people, the housing market, car market, everything is just so like rush, do, or we can't get supply and demand. If you want to build a shed, the wood is, oh my God, a 2x4 is $8. Oh, I want to put new windows in my house. We can't get them till August of 2020. Everything it's one thing after another. It's like, how much before the levee breaks? You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know if people just need to cut the cord and just pull back and say, you know what? Life's good the way it is. Screw the windows, F the shed. You know what I mean? I'll keep driving my car. It runs fine. Just pull back. You know what I mean? Pull back a little bit and like not make some of the dumbest things or things that are not so much a necessity, not make them a priority, right? Because that adds pressure. Fucking, I gotta go Saturday. Oh, I gotta run over here. I gotta go 2 hours away because the car's not here and it's there and it's, you know what I mean? My guy, I'm gonna kick this guy's ass because my windows and dude, chill out. That's what I think. I think everybody is under the gun, man. All of us.
And you know what? This is my one thing. All right, and Amelia,
that's too much of it. Was I going nuts there? Is that too much?
I love it. Go. Who cares? I'm going to go.
Too much for everybody.
Can I go nuts for a second? I want to say this. So and Amelia, I actually really appreciate, in a weird way, it's our show. We do this together, but I've had a chance to really elaborate more on the definition of kind. And, it sounds sometimes people don't even think they get it. So I'm going to let everyone know what I did for myself. I'm going to be real. All right. 1 year ago, it started. I all of a sudden went from, I started ordering hats on Amazon. I'm guilty. All right. And I started ordering shirts from different places, Etsy's local stores and everything. And I ended up over like 3 months accumulated a crazy hat collection and a crazy collection of shirts. And it was the first time that I've really, truly was like extra kind to myself. I'm being completely honest. I had boxes coming for 3 months straight. It was the best birthday I ever had. It was like my own made up birthday. And what the point is once I did that, it was awesome. And like, I haven't had like a box or two in so many months. It's not because I can have it. It's just that like I fulfilled my need. And now I don't have that, whatever. And it's weird. Now I'm just like, it's easier for to be kind to other people. Because I really believe once you can be kind, and I'm going to stress this, once you can be kind to yourself, it is so much easier to be kind to others. And I'm telling you from actually doing it. And kindness really is addictive. I mean, it really is. And understand that when you're doing something and when you're being kind, you're giving something, you're doing something with no intention of getting something back.
Right. It should never be about getting anything back.
Let's make that clear. When you do a kind deed, never do that thinking you're going to get something in return, because
there's only so many people in this world that have that that outlook, and that they conduct their favors and their kindness, and they do things unconditionally. Some people, they always want to hang the carrot over your head, whether they show it in the beginning or in the end. That's disheartening. But that's the message we're trying to go the extra mile. And if you're going to do something, do it from the bottom of your heart. Don't look for anything in return. There's nothing to use, and it goes different ways. Like sometimes I do things, and a lot of times, as a matter of fact, I'm like the number one for this. If somebody's in trouble and I'm a sucker for, they need money or whatnot, and if I help them out, and I'm talking about people that, really, needed it or whatnot, that I knew they couldn't pay me back. And if they could, it wouldn't be in a timely fashion. So I never looked for it in return or held it over their head. But if they could return a favor and an act of kindness in another way, like maybe be like, hey man, we're barbecuing tonight. I got you a nice steak. I got you tomahawks. Why don't you stop over? Like that to me shows that I'm in their mind. You know what I mean? Like they appreciated what I did for them, and that what they can do for me is what they can do. And if that's what they can do for me, or if they want to just stop by and say hello and talk, sometimes these are the type of things that actually make me realize like, hey, this is a decent person. And they were thinking about me and I was on their mind. And that goes a long way with me.
I love it. If I could challenge all our guests listening to this, I could just make this maybe suggestion. I would suggest everyone, if you can tomorrow, make it a point tomorrow to do two things. Do a kind act for yourself and do a kind act for others. And I'll give you an example. A kind act for yourself could be buying yourself something you want, treating yourself to something you want. A kind act to others could be checking in with someone, could be seeing how someone's doing, can be, you can literally say, hey, how can I help you? Just ask someone how you can help them. I mean, it's so easy to do a random act of kindness. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to end up feeling better once you do it. It really is addictive. But yeah, man, I love this kind cause. I love the fact that we're doing this together. And yeah, man, it's a blessing. So,
I mean, listen, little by little, right? We'll have some captivating guests on, and we're definitely going to, we're going to bring some food and some products that like our local sponsors and different people, that they provide. We'll bring it on this show, and we're going to eat it, and we're going to test it out. We're going to have some fun. Like we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to donate to our favorite charities and our guest charities, and we're just going to basically spotlight and put this on the map and blow up the brand. And that's what we're going to do. I mean, we're on a mission right now, right?
Absolutely. And I want everyone to know Emilio, the Philly Italian Realtor, is going. We're going to get the Kind Show. We're going to do some new graphics. We're going to have that cute face with me. Like we're doing it. All right. Because he's truly in the family. And Emilio, would you mind if we go into the final segment of chatting, but you're just going to ask me a couple random questions, and then we have a real exciting guest for next week. I'll let you tell the guest about that if you want. And then we'll wish you a great night, and we'll be back next week, my friends.
Sure.
Bruno made a great point. Every relationship must be reciprocal. I like that, Bruno.
It has to be.
That's very important. Can't
have a take, and you're the one giving all the time.
No, it just doesn't work. I mean, it's, people that are kind know that if you just give, you're going to get back automatically. It just happens. It's natural. You know what I mean? So, Jay, give me a little graphic for the chatting. Emilio, ask away. It's your segment now. You're going to ask me some things, whatever you want.
No, I'm just joking. I was pretending the microphone didn't work. God, look at him. He was shitting his pants. You just shit your pants just now.
Honey, I need a change of. All right, here we go. We're back.
All right. Corned beef special or pastrami special?
All right, easy. Corned beef special, 24/7, 365.
All right. I would agree with you, except for you haven't been to the 4th Street famous deli at 4th and Bambridge, or have you?
I have, and should we check out the pastrami?
Dude.
I'll make an exception for you. You gave me a choice. I didn't say I wouldn't have the pastrami. I just said which one would
because remember, we talked about this last week. I am a fanatic of deli.
You are.
And in my mind, the Jews invented it, and nobody does it better than them. I worked at a Jewish deli. I honed my craft there, and then I moved on to my, Italian delis and stuff like that. Ah, so good.
All right.
So,
I'm up. I'm game. I'm game. I'm definitely game to check that out.
how long you been married?
Now you're gonna get me divorced if I get this one wrong. Right? I know. It's great. Like he's like,
I
Emilio's
got
going
you.
all in. I love
I
it.
got you.
Like, he said, be on your toes. Well,
I got
good.
you.
You ready? I am. Watch this one. 9 years and 11 months.
No, we didn't have to go into the months. So you're basically, you're
Well,
going
I'm
on
trying not
10
to
years.
get my ass kicked. The women, they get my wife. I'm gonna get pissed off, honey.
You're going
9
on
years.
10 years. Your wife seems like she's cool, and she has to be cool because anybody who puts up with people like me and you and our, larger than life, polarizing, personalities, they have to be. John, we're all going. My treat. We're picking you up too. So your wife has to be a saint.
She is.
And one hell of a support system, right?
I try to be funny, but she's amazing. Like, amazing. Like, she really does support me because like you said, you and I have some of these crazy personalities. We're always just
we're
out there
polarizing because we could, we number one, we are spontaneous, right? So we could at any given moment just come up with this idea, that we're either going to do this or we want to go somewhere or do something, and you have to have somebody that's that it at least lets you be who you want to be and do it maybe on your own if you have something that you want to do, or always, be willing to go with you. Because if they always said no, that would be a problem too. You'd be like, this person doesn't go with my personality, and things happen. You get irreconcilable differences. But we need you have a good support system there, and I think I like your wife better than you. I'm not going to lie, but
well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So is your wife, is she part of the unboxings and the different memorabilia and different hats and t-shirts, or is she not really?
No, you know what? So she of course thought I was crazy. I told her why I was doing it. And then once I told her what I was doing, and she helped me, she was supporting me 100%. Once she understood, she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, honey, I just want to be kind to myself. And she bought into it. And she knew when the boxes came in, we'd open them up together. It was fun. It was actually more fun for me probably than her, but she did participate. Thank you.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Holland, Pennsylvania, Bucks County.
Holland, Pennsylvania, Bucks County.
My family came from Northeast Philly, and I was the youngest of three children. And then I was the one they decided they were going to move to the burbs. They said, okay, we're moving out of Philly.
So you have how many? You have two siblings?
Two brothers. Two older brothers. I'm the baby.
Older brothers.
Yep.
Are they kind? Are they kind?
They are kind. Absolutely.
You guys talk much? Stay in touch with each other?
I do stay in touch with my brothers, both of them. And, I think growing up, my parents taught me about kindness, but in the end, you don't always get, as you have life experiences, you don't perception. It's all about perception. Like I said, what I thought, I think before and after cancer, it's crazy that I always go before and after, but that's when I can distinctly, I see things differently. And I just don't think you can ever really understand it unless you go through it, because it's just very distinct for me, the way I see things. And it's just like before, after. I was always kind, but where I change is being kind to myself. Maybe taking an extra second to compliment someone. Also taking an extra second to not go crazy and react in an unkind way. Because sometimes when someone does something unkind, the easy reaction is to be unkind. And I think that's where maybe I challenge someone out there. If someone does something unkind, take that energy and don't be unkind. Take it a different direction, diffuse it. And I think that's another important thing is slow down. Don't just run to heighten up some craziness. I mean that.
One of the things while we're chatting, one of the things that, you want to push this message, be kind, right? And you're challenging people to, basically turn the other cheek and take that, that energy and push forward to be positive.
Yeah.
And it's a fantastic message, right? But one of the things that you don't even understand is that by putting this message out there and always providing content and a platform like you're doing with this show, the more and more people that absorb this and follow this and network and we become friends on social media, and we like and comment and share even through people's experiences, the birthdays, their kids' birthdays, different events that they might have. You're automatically creating this big network of kindness toward each other, right? Yeah. And out of that, you could pass your message to even a larger audience, because people are going to ask questions. Who's this guy? Who's this girl? Who's this? Who's that? So like these platforms and what you've created here is extremely important for moving forward and to getting your message across. And I think that's what people need to start tuning in, paying attention, listening, and absorbing what the Be Kind show is all about and what the message is all about. Because it takes what's the saying? It takes an army to move a mountain. Is that it?
Jason, you know that saying, by the way, because I know the saying. I'm so I always met.
What is it? Is how can you soar with eagles if you flock with turkeys?
Well, one of our guests, John Duffin, do you know this? Somebody help us on the lower third. We need some help here because you're so close with the saying, and I love it. You can move a mountain with a pliers,
with a molehill or some shit. It's something like that, right?
You can move a mountain with a hammer. No, I made that one up.
Right. Anyway, listen, we're running. We're gonna have to cut this out soon. I had a great time. I want to thank everybody. I don't want to run over our time and make it redundant. I think that I am blessed to have this opportunity to be on this platform, to be a co-host on this show. You were a great guest. I think people get the gist of what's going on. You're always interviewing people and having guests on your show. People really need to get to know who you are. If they don't already know you, they need to get familiar with you. Me, I'm all over the place. You can't hide from me. I'm on Facebook every day. And as soon as I get unbanned, I have like 13 videos ready to go. So guys, have a great night. And we are going to most likely, God willing, if his schedule doesn't conflict, I have a 90% commitment from Bill Rosell of One SEO, Chief Executive Sales Officer for a huge digital marketing company. And he is most likely 100%, maybe 90, 95%, depending on his schedule. But I can guarantee you that I'm going to get his ass on the show next week. And he's awesome. So guys, have a great night. Chad, molto grazie. Thank you for having me.
Mwah, thank you. Great job. What a great night, everybody. Be kind to yourself. It's addictive.
Do